Oh, Tashidele. Hello everyone. I hope all of you are keeping well. And welcome back to the Lojong session. So as usual, we take some moments, collectively do some practice of recitations of mantras, as well as the part of Guru Rinpoche's prayers. And yeah, and setting, so that also we do on the basis of setting altruistic motivation with proper refuge in Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and dedicate this for the well-being of numberless sentient beings. And in particularly, right at this very stage, there are so many conflicts are going on, so much of natural disasters are happening, so many sicknesses, so many adversities in the world, in the human realm, and to the animals, etc. So we dedicate for everyone's well-being, and also dedicate to yourself, your family members, whoever needs prayer supports. From my side, I dedicate this practice for you and your family members and everyone. Okay. Sanje je dan zo je jo na la jang ju ba do dan ne jang zo je da je jin zo je be so nam je do la be je san je do ba ra jo sanje je dan zo je jo na la jang ju ba do dan ne jang zo da je jin zo je be so nam je do la be je san je do ba ra jo sanje je dan zo je jo na la jang ju ba do dan ne jang zo je da je jin zo je be so nam je do la be je san je do ba ra jo. Semje damje dewa dan dewe ju dan dembra ju je semje damje dunga dan dunga je ju dan dawra ju je semje damje dunga mebe dewa dan mi dawa ju je semje damje nyere cha dan ni dan dawe dan yong la nebra ju ro je semje damje dewa dan dewe ju dan dembra ju je semje damje dunga dan dunga je ju dan dawra ju je semje damje dunga mebe dewa dan mi dawa ju je semje damje nyere cha dan ni dan dawe dan yong la nebra ju ro je Zemje damje dewa dan dewe ju dan dembra ju je zemje damje dunga dan dunga je ju dan dawa ju je zemje damje dunga mebe dewa dan mi dawa ju je zemje damje nyere cha dan ni dan dawe dan nyo la ne barai ju ro je Kange doje ne zo ne dawa damje bambe je dambe je ne denje ba go dam de la ja je lo dong ni ni je song do ju be lam je 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 kan je den de ge chan na be mo den je ja zo la so wa de zo da yu jin je lo tab je doje sha je re do je 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 men do de je be jong ba ze je lon bo da bo ze be go sha je ja bo de la cha se lo Daya da om mune mune ma muna ye zo ha daya da om mune mune ma muna ye zo ha daya da om mune mune ma muna ye zo ha daya da om mune mune ma muna ye zo daya da om mune mune ma muna ye zo ha daya da om mune mune ma muna ye zo ha daya da om mune mune ma muna ye zo ha daya da om mune mune Mamina yezo ha daya dao muni muni mamina yezo ha daya dao muni muni mamina yezo ha Daya dao monga de gade bara zam gade bodhi yezo ha daya dao monga de bara zam gade bodhi yezo ha daya dao monga de bara zam gade bodhi yezo Daya dao monga de bara zam gade bodhi yezo ha daya dao monga de bara zam gade bodhi yezo ha daya dao monga de bara zam gade bodhi yezo Daya dao monga de bara zam gade bodhi yezo ha Mimezeve derjen chereze, deme jembe ombo jambe yang, de bomale jonze zavenda, ganji jembe zoye zonga ba, lozan tabe jala zovande. Mimezeve derjen chereze, deme jembe ombo jambe yang, de bomale jonze zavenda. Ganji jembe zoye zonga ba, lozan tabe jala zovande. Mimezeve derjen chereze, deme jembe ombo jambe yang, de bomale jonze zavenda, ganji jembe zoye zonga ba. Lozanda Bijabla Zova Mimezeve Dirje Jereze, de Mijembe Ombo Jambe Yan, de Bomali Jonze Zavenda, Ganji Jembe Zuge Zongaba, Lozanda Bijabla Zova Mimezeve Dirje Jereze, de Mijembe Ombo Jambe. De Bomali Jonze Zavenda, Ganji Jembe Zuge Zongaba, Lozanda Bijabla Zova Mimezeve Dirje Jereze, de Mijembe Ombo Jambe Yan, de Bomali Jonze Zavenda, Ganji Jembe Zuge Zongaba. Lozanda Bijabla Zoa de Omo Mani Beme Hung, Omo Mani Beme Hung, Omo Mani Beme Hung, Omo Mani Beme Hung, Omo Mani Beme Omo Mani Beme Hung. Omo dare do re zoha, 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 omo dare do re zoha. Omo dare do re zoha, 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 omo dare do re zoha. Omodare dure zoha, omodare dure zoha, omodare dure zoha, omodare dure zoha, omodare dure zoha. Omodare dure zoha, omodare dure zoha, omodare dure zoha, omodare dure zoha. Omodare dure zoha, omodare dure zoha, omodare dure zoha, omodare dure zoha. Omodare dure zoha, omodare dure zoha, omodare dure zoha. Tayada beganze ma beganze ranza samuga de zoha tayada beganze ma beganze ranza samuga de zoha tayada beganze ma beganze ranza samuga de zoha tayada beganze ma beganze Ranza Zamonga de Zoha Dayada Omo Beganze Ma Beganze Ranza Zamonga de Zoha Dayada Omo Beganze Ma Beganze Ranza Zamonga de Zoha Dayada Om Beganze Ma Beganze Ranza Zamonga de Zoha Dayada Omo Beganze Ma Beganze Ranza Zamonga de Zoha, Omo Mare Zema 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 Zoha. Daje Jawa Tamje Da Jeba Yela Zambe De Denye Game Zejundo, Dubala Mejingelo. Taja jongwe jeze do dojo mejo yangsa so semde semele jongwe jeba kwele nyodo jabdo zo jewa de nyodo dan wase jema dubyo ne dowa jijama lup deye salang barai sho. Oh yeah, Guru Rinpoche prayers for protection from natural disaster. When obstacles arise in the earth, water, fire, and air, to threaten this illusory body of ours with its destruction, with no trace of doubt or hesitation, we pray. O Guru Rinpoche, with the goddesses of the four elements, you will harmonize the element into their natural state. Of this we have no doubt. To the lotus-born Guru of Ujjain we pray. Grant your blessing so all our wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Saju melo jove barje ge gulu nije jibe de jonze yenye de zo me braise wa de we ge jo wa ye ye la moro je Chua ye ran sara ye je wara ye de zo ye me we ge be ma june la ye wa ye de Samba linye do barai jinye lo. For protection from weapons and persecution, when faced by killers on all sides who threaten us with the lethal weapons, with no trace of doubt or hesitation, we pray. O Guru Rinpoche, the protections of your vajra tent will cause killers to panic and weapons to be scattered. To the lotus-born Guru Ujjan we pray, grant your blessing so all our wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Kanshe me ma je ta goro ne ye chen ja ye ne be de bje nye ba na ye nye te zo me bara ye se wa ye de ye we je do je ye gur da ye de ba ye Shema ye denjin ye zenja ye torbara ye ju ye weje ye pema ye chune la ye sewa ye debe Samba ye lenje ye drobara ye jinje lo. The prayers to Guru Rinpoche for removing obstacles and fulfilling wishes. Embodiment of Buddhas of the past, present, and future, Guru Rinpoche, Master of all siddhis, Guru of great bliss, Dispeller of all obstacles, wrathful substitutor of Maras. To you I pray, inspire me with your blessings, so that outer inner secret obstacles are dispelled, and all my aspirations are spontaneously fulfilled. Tusumo zangye guru rinpo che yung tu gunda dewa chenpe shaba parache kunze du du tabu ye ze se wa depso jinje labdu zo chena zawe parache shiva ta samba linje do bara Jingelo Omo ai woi benzarai guru bema sidi hung Omo ai benzarai guru bema sidi hung Omo ai woi benzarai guru bema sidi hung Omo ai woi benzarai guru bema sidi hung Omo ay oy benzarai guru bemai sede hum. Omo ay benzarai guru bemai sede hum. Tezomo zangye ay guru ay rimbo ay je ay ngudu ay guna ay dewa ay jimbe ay shaba. Parje ay guje ay dudu ay dabu ay ze ay zuwa ay debzo ay jinge alabdu ay zo. Chena ay zawe ay parje ay jewa ay da ay zamba ay lunje to barai jinge lo. Oh yeah, make make a dedication for yourself, your family, and for all the purposes that we have been motivated for. Injambe bawe jeda jemba da gundo zambo de an de jinje de da gunje jezo da loje jawa de da dam je rab do ngo de sun je be jawa dam je de ngo wa ga la chu do nga ba de da je je be zawa de gunje zambo je je rab do ngo wa ra je pa ma sim je dam je de da de je je nge do dam je da do do wa da chan jo zen ba ga na zo jo ba de da gunje mo lam do je je sim je ne ba jin ye ba nyu do ne le da je je de we ne ne ma le ba da do ju wa me bara jo bedan zo mi ge be ye je no ba ba zong ji sem je ra wa gun je me zang ba je je de be da ji sho ni mon de le zen de le ni me gun yan de le yin zen da do de le be gun jo zum je da ji jo Okay, thank you. Oh yeah, so okay, so we are studying the classical Lojong treatise from the great collection of the Lojong. Um, if you are using the same kind of text, then you are um, on page 227. We are currently studying the 22 chapter from this volume, the 8 sessions mind training. So the brief introduction that I've already done on the first session of this teaching. So basically, the 8 sessions of the teachings here, uh, it is a must practice that whoever traveling through the Mahayanic path, towards enlightenment. So, so this is all the past Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, the great masters, the realized great masters, including of our, living lineage gurus, who live in all these, practices. So therefore, um, it is very much, Kadamba masters day to day, guideline, how to relate our life towards practice, our life towards our day to day activities, and try to take everything that onto the path to enlightenment. So like that. So it is very important teaching, and in particularly now, this time for today's session, I hope to cover the first of the 8 session. And this particular teaching is unbelievable, essential, is amazing, and is so beneficial. In particularly, there's a teaching that even the title, the mind training, pertaining to food. Um, there are few things that we are almost all the time engage. One of them is eating, isn't it? Uh, uh, so very much of our life, we spend eating, eating food and drinking, and also one of the major portions of earning, through the job is for consumptions of food and drink, isn't it? If we don't have to drink and eat, I think we don't have to work so hard to earn so much money, isn't it? Then, even when we are studying, going to school, the knowledge that we try to learn from school is very much to something that to be useful, to earning livelihood, and one of them is, eating food and drink. So very much our life is about that, and then because of eating food, we also sustain our body. We have physical energy to use this vehicle of the body properly, to practice of dharma and do a lot of good things. And also because of the if we don't direct our physical strength to the right direction, then whatever consumptions of foods and medicine and drinks also use into indulgence of a lot of and negativities also. So so like that. Then because of eating food, people do get sick because of type of food that we get sick because of food, like sickness like diabetes, eating too much sugar, etc. Etc. So like that. So food is very much is part of our life. So as a someone that who pursue Mahayanic path, so the eating food we have to take on to path. Otherwise, um, we waste so much of opportunity. And whenever we consume even just one grain of rice, one drop of water, we are consuming, we are exhausting the merit that we accumulate in the past to have a meritorious karma, to have food and drinks, you see. So if we don't replenish, or if we don't uh, create more virtuous karma, then there will come to they will arrive to a time that we get completely exhausted of food and drink. Then we even we born as a human, we born in a place where there's drought, where there's no food, where there's no clean water. Then worse than that, if the karma is so heavy, especially the heaviness of the karma in relation to food and drink is we consume with miserliness. We have so much, miserliness in relation to food and drinks, as well as, um, you know, by stealing, etc. Then the karma get heavy, that we may even experience the suffering in the preta realm. So like that. So therefore, taking, eating food onto path is very important. So that's one of the things. Then the second, the important practice from this chapter about taking sleeping onto the path. We sleep, half of our 24 hours. I mean, half of our day-to-day life. We spend sleeping. And we don't utilize. Um, you know, in natural ways, we don't utilize our sleep time into practice to accumulate merit. So through the practice, we can also, utilize our sleeping into the causes to achieve enlightenment. You say like that. Then another the teaching, the relation to this chapter is about anger management. Anger is again one of the delusion that bother all of us. Or at least many of us. Uh, um, is one of the delusion that really challenge us in our day-to-day life. The impatientness. Uh, yeah, impatientness, which is a degree of anger. And which is, from the spiritual point of view, anger destroys one moment. Anger, destroys eons of accumulation merit. And like what do we see in the sutra, what do we see in the Shandeva's Sarvacharya, the faults of anger that we learn from the chapter 6. It's unbelievable, you see. Then even in our day-to-day life, whether we are a spiritual practitioner or not, you know arising anger really destroy our day, really destroy peace of our mind, really contaminate the environment among the family, friends. They make it so negative, isn't it? So therefore, the whatever practice that suggesting, or the teaching from this first chapter, it is very powerful, to purify the karma that we are committed to generate anger, and as well as to create new causes, virtuous causes to prevent future arising of anger, like that. Then also this particular chapter also teaches the very skillful way, the practice of the three kayas, taking taking the time, at the time of death, the clear light, taking intermediate state, taking rebirth onto the path to enlightenment. You know, this is one of the major, the essence practice of the Haisuke Tantra. But here, in the Lojong way, taking three of those experiences onto the path, which also can be practiced by those who are not initiated. All of us, any one of us, who can practice, and that's unbelievable. It's very rare to find such teaching in a common path. It's very much not even able to find in the initial tantric schools. It's very much the practice of the Haisuke Tantra. So so it's unbelievable. It's amazing. And also I don't have to do much of the commentary. It is so easy to understand. As long as you use this, like this first chapter, as a meditation guide, or as a mindfulness guide. That alone is good enough. So it's a very rich teaching, very unbelievable teaching. Okay, so I better start before wasting too much of time with my blah blah. Okay, it says mind training pertaining to food. So now, in order to put into practice the instructions of Geshe Dromtonpa, to accumulate merit for your benefactors and to help you to digest food offered by others out of faith and reverence, you should engage in mind training pertaining to food. So this particular, teaching specifically, uh, emphasize the importance by the great Kadamba master, the first Kadamba master, who is a Tibetan origin, the direct disciple or the first or the principal disciple of the early Kadamba master, uh, Lama Atisha, who is the Indian great pandit. So, the first person to be transmitted all the teachings, such as Lamrim, such as Lojong, is to Geshe Dromtonpa. So, uh, mm, so, so in order to, the practice, so is to accumulate merit, uh, for your benefactors, um, so so you see, mm, um, if it's straightforward, relating this practice is very much to the monastic practitioners, like monks, sangha, monks and nuns, the sanghas, very much live. The sangha should be living, on the basis of the devotees, the benefactors, support. The sangha shouldn't be engaging in the lay work, earning livelihood. Usually it's like that. You see, so I think I have mentioned that. I don't know in which class, relation to Shakyamuni Buddha. You know, during that time, his father, King Shuddhodana, is one of the richest king, and he want to support everything for the needs of Shakyamuni Buddhas and his disciple sanghas, and also there's other kings that who offer entire their kingdom, you see, but he still stay as a renounced, and he rather went for arming, and that is very much for the uh, people who don't have opportunity to become a sangha, to take the vow, to accumulate merit, which are the devotees and students, so for that purpose, you see. So so now the sanghas, in order to genuinely benefit, taking their offerings, genuinely benefit to the benefactors, and as well as yourself to digest the food without accumulating negative. Digest here is not to accumulate negative karma of consuming those offerings. Yeah, you see, which are very much offer in reverence to the vow and the monastic way of life, with so much faith. You see, so so do that, then the sanghas get into the mind training, parting into the food. So that's this practice come about. So it is also a very strict Vinaya practice, from Vinaya Sutra for the sanghas uh, to to do this practice. Then now this teaching also relate to all the other practitioners, all the other beings, all the other practitioners, even those lay practitioners, because whatever we eat, we drink, everything is benefactor by others. It is the kindness of other sentient being. You see, so even in the conventional uh, scenario, that the crops, the vegetables, the rice, barley, everything, uh, grow with the help of the mechanism in the soil, where there's no mechanism of bacteria, worms, the food won't grow. You see, so there's so many sentient beings have contributed to have the food, to have the vegetable like that. And not only that, that's just to gain, the fruit, the vegetables, and all the grains. There's so many beings sacrifice their life, when people are farming. There's so many insects they die, bacteria they die, you see. So many sentient beings sacrifice for our sake to have the food, that. Then another way of understanding is that because we make charity in the past lifetime to others, because we have fed food to others, because we have fed drinks to others, make charity of drinks and foods to others, make offerings of foods and drinks to the Buddhas, we accumulated merit, and we are simply enjoying the result of that merit. There's no suddenly food drop from the sky without any reason, not like that. Everything to do with the karma. So therefore, therefore, if there's no others to whom that you're able to make charity, you won't have this karma to enjoy all this abundance of food. You see. So therefore, um, so therefore, you see, everything is benefited by others. So therefore, in order not to waste the merit, waste the karma by consuming these foods, which is meaning to digest by yourself, to really to become like a medicine to you, become blessing to you, become causes and conditions to really make your life even more productive in the virtues. Then at the same time, to really to benefit by the merit, to all those beings involved. For that reason, then we practice this mind training pertaining to the food. So how to do that? So first, cultivate the thought motivation. I will attain Buddhahood. First cultivate the thought. So this is before you eat the food, before you drink the drinks. First cultivate the thought. I will attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. In particular, I will nurture the 84,000 classes of microorganisms that inhabited my body this very instant through material gift. And in the future, I shall nurture them through Dharma. So first, you generate bodhicitta motivation. Then, in particularly, you think of the minimum 84,000 living beings within your body. You see, minimum. So if we use the scientific, micro, the thing to look, I think they should be much more, maybe billions, but minimum, 84,000 living beings, bacteria in your body. Yeah, you see. So in short, whatever living beings that sustain through your body, through your body, that you are making charity of this food to them. So think like that. So by making charity of this food, what you consume, that produces the nutrition in your body. That's how that all the bacteria sustain in your body, and that pleases them, nurture them with the material gift. And through this nurturing, through this material gift, you intend to cause them to actualize meritorious karmic connection with you in future. When you become Buddha, when you turn the wheel of Dharma, they become your spiritual disciple. They become your disciple. So you think like that. Now you nurture them by the generosity of material gift. In future, that I will nurture them with the generosity of Dharma. So you think like that. So each time you drink and eat, then as you swallow food, visualize that as if sheared off by a sharp razor, that causal negative karma, which is the karmic imprint, the potential itself, as well as the negative emotion, delusions, ignorance, or those are the causal negative karma, and their resultant suffering of all beings. Their resultant sufferings are pervasive compounded suffering, suffering of change, and suffering of pain of all beings of the six realms are taken away and coverage instead upon you. So take away from them, then take upon yourself. You see, take upon yourself. So here, if you are so courage, if you are confident with the altruistic practice, then
you can even visualize that those different sicknesses are literally ripen upon your bodies, and you feel the pain. You can visualize like that, But some people, they may not able to do that. But one thing have to be clear, that whenever you do this kind of practices, it doesn't create a karma to diseases to ripen upon you. Rather, it create a karma to never yourself suffer this kind of diseases, this kind of suffering that other sentient beings suffer. So the more easy option is ripen upon the self cherishing and self grasping attitude on that, and the moment ripen upon that, then instantly purified the root of the samsara and suffering within you, and simultaneously it purify all this samsara and its causes in sentient beings, you see. So there again, you can visualize, if it is diseases, sicknesses, then in the form of blood and pus, you visualize them coming towards you, then then if it is spirit harms, the elemental harms, then it's a dark, black smoke coming towards you, like that. Mm? And then uh, mm, then if it is general, negative karmic imprint, the karmic imprint that committed by delusion, and past negative karmic potential that you carry in your continuum, in um so all sentient being has such karma, so such negativities, and those in the form of like scorpions, yeah, in the form of like a dark scorpion, so it's like traveling towards you. Then either directly enter from the heart chakra here, or just wherever you feel comfortable. Then it dissolve. It's like a kind of, it's like a sponge, everything sucked by the dark kind of very uneasy kind of uh, form right around the heart chakra here, which represent the self-cherishing, self-grasping attitude of yours. Ripen upon that. The moment it ripen upon that, instantly, purified. Your own suffering its causes and others' sufferings its causes, and completely, free from entire oceans of samsara, and actualize them in the state of enlightenment. So you can do according with whatever that it feel easy for you, like that. As you excel, sorry, so the earlier one, you can do while you are breathing, so you can use the breathing exercise, so it's very much is practice of tonglen. When you breathe out, then you give. When you breathe in, you take, like that, and it's also like that. So as you exhale, then contemplate that your own happiness and virtue ripen upon other sentient beings. Meditate thus on the reverse and exchange of these two situations. So you can do repeatedly again and again. When you breathe in, take in again and again. You can do the meditation until you feel fully satisfied. Then you do the exhale, breathing out. Then you do the the giving your happiness and virtues. Again, you do until you feel satisfied. Or otherwise you can do one time in and out. So you can train like that. You can repeat as much as that you wish to. Then imagine, then visualize, also mentally transferring the root of the virtues of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, which then come to fruition on other sentient beings. So not only your own virtues, you can also dedicate all the virtues of the past, present, future Buddhas, gurus and sentient beings. Whatever goodness is out there, you offer to the sentient being. Thus, you imagine sentient beings become free from their causal negative karma and resultant sufferings. They generate the awakening mind that aspire for supreme enlightenment. Then you understand all sentient beings, actualize the bodhicitta, and they attain Buddhahood uh, by accomplishing the two accumulations. Then not only that, then instantly, right after that, Once they actualize the true bodhicitta, then they accumulate the causes for enlightenment. So next moment, without delaying, immediately, they actualize state of the Buddhahood. You can visualize, you can understand like that. Mm. Then again, imagine that sentient beings become free from causal negative karma and result in suffering. So you can repeat that again and again, because in actual fact, the result is not delivered yet. It is more of training of your mind, as well as accumulating, causes and purifying, obscurations. So for that reason, then you keep repeat again and again, then you sometimes you may ask question to yourself, why, how come that I already abide them in the state of full enlightenment, and again I need to see them is still the suffering being, it's like not contradictory, you may have doubt like that. So no need to have such doubt. uh, you know you do this exercise or this yoga in order to purify, the negativities, you see, and in order to create causes, you see. So so stronger, more the stronger that you have conviction, during the meditation session, that the sentient beings are all purified and they actualize Buddhahood. The stronger conviction you have, the more effective the practice it become for that purpose. You see, so like that. They generate the awakening mind that aspire for supreme enlightenment and accomplish the true accumulations. They visibly transform into a blessed Akshobhya. So in this practice, especially, because this practice is in relation to purifying sentient beings, karma, and suffering, isn't it? So because of that, then this visualization, this practice is in relation to Buddha Akshobhya. Buddha Akshobhya. In another word, the another manifestations of the Buddha Akshobhya, which is very familiar to most of us, is Buddha Mitrugpa. So Buddha Mitrugpa and Buddha Akshobhya is the same. Same. It's a blue color, holding the vajra in the hand. So uh, so you visualize, whenever you understand the sentient beings actualize Buddhahood, you understand, they actualize the state of the Buddha Akshobhya or Buddha Mitrugpa. So you can think like that. So Akshobhya, Akshobhya is one of the five Dyhani Buddha. So those of you who receive high Tantra initiation, then we are always initiated, in relation to five Dyhani Buddha. So you may be familiar. Otherwise, generally we know about five family Buddhas or the five Dyhani Buddhas. So Akshobhya is one of the principal Buddha among them. Uh, it belonged to the Kriya or action tantra. It is own tantric lineage of the four tantric school. It belonged to the earlier tantric school, Kriya and action tantra. Mm? Within the Kriya and action tantra, within the tantric deity school, there are five different kind of family, like such as vajra, such as lotus. So this Akshobhya or the Mitrugpa belong to the vajra family in vajra lineage. Because of the vajra lineage, it play as one of the principal role among the five Dyhani Buddha. Akshobhya also who represent the consciousness, the consciousness as an uh, aspect of reality. So the space like emptiness, space like emptiness of consciousness, or emptiness of the consciousness, and you can also say like that. Mm. Mm. Or you can also understand, it represent the Buddha's Dharmakaya, Buddha's wisdom body. Akshobhya represent also that. Then Akshobhya also represent, from the sixth perfection, it represent patience. So Akshobhya is also called as the Buddha, the immovable Buddha. immovable Buddha. Akshobhya attained his enlightenment by immovable vows. Immovable vows. So he during the training on the path, the Akshobhya make a vow to overcome anger within him, as well as overcome any retaliation in relation to others' abuse, others' anger, others' harm. Mhm. So the moment he took the vow, until he, without any transgression of that vow, um, make him gain the perfection in patience, and through that practice he achieved the state of full enlightenment, and then become Buddha Akshobhya. Mm. So similar goes to the Buddha Mitrugpa, similar like that. You see, so when you think of Buddha Akshobhya, let's say if you want to meditate on it, then it is six syllable is the blue hung, it's six syllable is the blue hung. Yeah, so it is blue color, and then adorning with all the crown ornaments. Um, uh, uh, it is in the Sambhavakaya aspect. Then the left hand in the meditation posture, holding a vajra in the center. Then right hand is, blessing the earth like that. So that is the Buddha Akshobhya. So the Buddha Akshobhya or the Buddha Mitrugpa, it is also the principal deities of the purifications of the karma, purifications of the negativities. It is numberless Buddha's embodiment of the purification. As most of us very familiar with the Vajrasattva, isn't it? As an embodiment of the numberless Buddha's purification. So when comparing Vajrasattva and the Mitrugpa or the Akshobhya is more common to any practitioner. Vajrasattva practice is very much, it is of course, purification practice also, serve for general purification practices, but it is very much, used, who practice tantra, in particularly in relation to purify the tantric transgressions, tantric vows. If there's any tantric vow for the transgression, so Vajrasattva is most effective in purification. So in that sense, you will see in all sadhanas, all the different ritual deity pujas, there is the part of Vajrasattva practice, the recitation of Vajrasattva, almost you can find in every different rituals, one or another way, you see. So because Vajrasattva is targeted antidote to purify, especially tantric broken samayas. Now the Mitrugpa of the Akshobhya is antidote to general purification, general purification. You see, to all kind of people, to all kind of practitioners. Whether you have initiation or not, whether you're practicing tantra or not, as long as you carry a lot of negativities, then when you relate the practice to Buddha Mitrugpa or Buddha Akshobhya, like such as doing retreat of, such as receiving Akshobhya initiation, such as receiving Mitrugpa initiation, and then conducting it is retreat. Then there's a great, very very common practice of making Mitrugpa tsa-tsas image for the living. If you know that you have so much negative karma, you want to purify it. Individual engage into accumulation of minimum 100,000 Mitrugpa tsa-tsas makings. Then you build a stupa and host entire stupa Mitrugpa tsa-tsas made by yourself. The best. If you cannot, you sponsor someone to build a stupa and make a tsa-tsas, like build a stupa or make a tsa-tsas house stupa. Then someone to do 100,000 Mitrugpa tsa-tsas for you, and host in that stupa, for your immense of purification. There are such practices like that. Mm. Then, so then, of course, you can do Mitrugpa, tsa-tsas, also printing on the paper, printing many Mitrugpa tsa-tsas images, and I mean, in the West, it sometimes is also a bit difficult, to host so many printings, so many tsa-tsas, isn't it? So usually, I find very um, practical is like during the occasions of like His Holiness Dalai Lama's teaching. Usually His Holiness Dalai Lama's teaching, like in Bodh Gaya, minimum 100,000 participants. Sometimes 200,000-300,000 participants. So if you want to accumulate Mitrugpa retreat, Mitrugpa tsa-tsas retreat, if you are able to make the clay tsa-tsas, then if you have no place to host, you offer to each of the participant during the teaching. Everyone will appreciate so much, and they will bring at their home, their temple. They put as object of their veneration. And so much benefit. On um, maybe even more benefit than like hosting into tsa-tsas house. You see. Then otherwise you can sponsor to print 100,000 Mitrugpa picture as your tsa-tsas 100,000 tsa-tsas retreat practice. Then you can offer one picture to one teaching participants, like that. Or if we cannot get opportunity to distribute in that kind of environment, then any other kind of teaching environment where there's a few hundred people, and each time you get opportunity, you make offering to each of the participants, so that way that you don't have to worry about where to host them. So it's unbelievable purification practice, general purification practice. And you can also do this similar to dedicating to your loved one who pass away, deceased family members and friends, or even an animal. If you wish to dedicate immense purification practices for them, you can make Mitrugpa tsa-tsas. You can print Mitrugpa tsa-tsas image and do the same thing as I mentioned before. You can also do Mitrugpa water tsa-tsas. You can get Mitrugpa tsa-tsas mold, you know, uh, made on the copper or brass. In Nepal, you can get it quite easily. Then you make a handle, then you can chop on the pure running river, or you can chop on the pure lakes or the pure oceans. So that way, I mean, the number is each chop, each tsa-tsas. Then, of course, especially if you can do in a big ocean or running river, that river travel all the way to ocean, then any being that touches by that water going to be benefit. It's unbelievable benefit. So I think in the West, most of the Western country, like in Australia, big, huge beaches. Then also, there are beautiful running rivers also, isn't it? So, but then in the West, it's a bit hard for us to, for maybe for Dharma center, maybe it's okay, but for individual family, to build a stupa in your garden, and I think here you got a lot of like buy and selling of the property. Then also in future, if you're in future generations, if they don't value those holy objects, then it's a bit difficult, to build stupa and to have a lot of holy object at home. A bit hard. When you go away from this life, there should be somewhere that people respect them, isn't it? So I find the water tsa-tsas is, I think, very meaningful. So easily can be done. You can do in a massive group. You can do by yourself, and numberless, water creatures in the ocean, isn't it? In each and every one of them will be directly benefited by your tsa-tsas. So so like that. Do you see? So I mean, not necessarily the tsa-tsas mold have to buy from them, but in the West, you can make the tsa-tsas mold of Mitrugpa. You can even make a like kind of like a plate, like kind of like that. Then have a maybe 10, 20 different Mitrugpa tsa-tsas images there, or maybe hundreds. Maybe you can just make very small, but then hundreds of images. Then you can just sit on the chair and you can chop on the water, like that. So while doing that, you can recite the Mitrugpa mantra, and you can also take this, teaching as a part of your meditation. You can do as a session. You use this particular, the first chapter of this particular teaching here as a sadhana, then you perform those practices. Unbelievable, unbelievable. You see, so one of the, it's very common in Tibet, very common in Himalaya, and yeah. So I think in the West maybe not so common yet. I think it's good to be, because this is so easy to do and so beneficial. I mean, we really require immense of purification practices, isn't it? I mean, the world is is very much is havoc, and individually also in our life, we can see the pressure by the heavy negative karma in our life. There's you can feel the stress, you can feel the pressure, isn't it? So so therefore, doing more purification practice in relation to Mitrugpa is unbelievable beneficial. So like that. Yeah, then as I mentioned before, anger is one of the most destructive emotion to us, in relation to job, in relation to family, in relation to earning, etc., etc. It's so easy to get upset, so easy to get stressed up, so easy to get impatient, so easy to you know uh, uh, really manifest with full arising of anger. It really is one of the it's like a spark of fire is like always go along with us. Any moment can bring into bushfire like that. So it's so when you practice Mitrugpa, when you practice Akshobhya, then because of the Akshobhya's aspiration that he made during the training himself during the training on the path, especially he achieved the enlightenment in relation to overcoming anger, directly targeting overcoming anger, which is his vow, makes we whoever relate practice to that bring the most effective, result. So that's as I mentioned at the beginning. This is one of very good practice for managing anger like that. Then I will. Then it says. Then imagine that the thumb-sized wisdom being Akshobhya arrive from his natural abode and descend on the crown of your head. Oh, so from here, this particular paragraph, I think there's one time that with the Russian students, especially those who practice Nyungne, we had a question answer a few times, and you asked about wisdom being. You also asked about the, the what do you call um, the independent Ishe is about the mantra recitation. So there are two important questions that you have asked. You can refer to this particular text very clearly, what exactly wisdom being means and what exactly Ishe means, how to do about the mantra recitation. So I think this is very good for the Russian students who have raised those questions. Okay. Okay, then imagine that the thumb size image of the Buddha Akshobhya, the wisdom being, the wisdom being is just title, okay, the name. But when you visualize, it's like the statue, it's like images, like actual images that what we see in the picture like that, about thumb size. Wisdom being Akshobhya arrive from its natural abode. So it is natural abode of the Akshobhya is the Dharmakaya, enlightened state, the Dharmakaya of the Akshobhya. From that emptiness being of the Akshobhya, then emanate thumb size, Akshobhya, that's the wisdom being, and descend onto your crown of your head. Okay, so that wisdom being, where to go? Descend on your crown. Now, practitioner now is focus on that image. Focus on that image. Cultivate, then by focusing, then you cultivate devotion and reverence with your mind, and with your speech recite the praise, the hymns. Okay, so the purpose of inviting wisdom being on your crown is for you to express devotion for yourself to accumulate merit and to make connection to this Buddha, and purify yourself and actualize, the qualities of the Akshobhya Buddha. Then after that, then reverence with your mind. So in your mind, you can engage with the practices like the 7 limb practices. You see, so the best way to relate, purification practice, accumulation practice is the 7 limbs practice, which is very common to both sutra and tantra. You see, especially the tantra. You see, so you start with the making extensive offering. Purification, make rejoicement. Request the wisdom being to abide, to liberate you. Then the wisdom beings to grant the blessing of Dharma. Then at the end you make the dedications of the, whatever benefit you receive from this practice to all sentient beings, enlightenment. You see, then your speech recite the praise. So recite the praise. So recite the praise. You can refer to reciting the mantra, the Mitrugpa mantra. So the Buddha Akshobhya mantra and the Mitrugpa mantra are very much similar. So when you recite Mitrugpa mantra, is equal reciting Akshobhya's mantra. So you can recite Akshobhya's Mitrugpa mantra. But then if you want to recite the Akshobhya Dharani mantra, then you can recite like this: Namo Bhagavate Akshobhyaya Tata Gataya Harahate Samya Sambuddhaya Taya Tha Om Kamkani Kamkani Rochani Rochani Totani Totani Tasani Tasani Tadihana Tadihana Savakama Parambara Nime Sarva Sabda Nenza Soha. So you see, so Tayata Om Kamkani Kamkani, from that onward is Mitrugpa's, the straightforward Mitrugpa's heart mantra. So as to make a Dharani of Buddha Akshobhya, then you add Namo Bhagavati Akshobhyaya Tathagataya Harahate Samya Sambuddhaya. That's it, Then after that you add the Mitrugpa's heart mantra. So that becomes the Akshobhya's Dharani mantra. Or if you can't recite all this long mantra, you can recite short mantra. Om Akshobhya Hum. Om Akshobhya Hum. Om Aksho. So this one is so easy, isn't it? Om Akshobhya Hum. So you can also recite like that. Then if you want to recite the supplication prayer, then you can also recite like this. Though you are inseparable from the essence of Dharma Dhatu, due to great compassion, you never pass into nirvana. Accomplish the 4 activities that benefit countless beings. Homage to you, the Tathagata Akshobhya. So that is the supplication prayer. Then after that, you can recite the mantra. So as I mentioned before, you can recite the Dharani mantra, or you can recite the heart mantra. If you recite the heart mantra, then Namo Ranataya Om Kamgani Kamgani Rochani Rochani Totani Totani Tasani Tasani Tadihana Tadihana Sarvakama Parampara Nime Sarva Sata Nenza Soha. Like that. Then after that, you make the dedication. By the supreme virtue, may I swiftly attain the state of the Tathagata and establish each and every sentient beings in that state. So very much Gyawade Nyuto, Gyawade Nyuto, Chomden Mijo, Rujun, Rowachi Jamaluba, De Sala Gobrasho. Chomden Mijo means Tathagata Mijopa or Tathagata Akshobhya. Chomden Mijo, Rujun, Rowachi. So the Gyawade Nyuto, the general dedication that we always recite, during the puja, the same one. So you can just add Chomden Mijo do you ne do wachi jamale de sala ko show. So you can also you can do that. Okay. Mm. 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 So then make offering and supplication to him. So uh, um, then make offering supplication to him. So that is what I'm talking about. You see, uh, uh, with your speech recite the praise him, then make offering and supplication to him. So when you um, mm, so uh, so you can you see you after the reciting the mantra, then if you want to do more elaborate practice of the seven limb practice, then you can insert that. You can insert that from the kings of the prayer, the first part, which is seven limb prayer, that is prophesied or composed by Buddha himself. You can use that, or you can use the short one that you can find in Tara Puja, you can find in everywhere. ngoshamyu to choba malebo tomenesa de tamji keba jewan namla jena kwa ma don badale dola chichu kolo da jena chanju chembo ngo. So almost in every prayer text you can find similar prayer, so very short, you can add that, you see. So then accordingly you can visualize uh, as much as possible, as he mentioned, like in your mind, I think most of us know the extensive way of practicing, the practices, like extensive, offerings. I think I have mentioned that in the past, so many of you will be familiar with that, extensive way of offering, extensive prostration, etc. You see, you can do that for rest of the numberless sentient beings on behalf, or you can take all the sentient beings along with you to practice all those, you see. Yeah. So otherwise, if some of you are new, you're not familiar, you can refer to the, I think, I don't know when, but whether there's I have given a teaching on the seven limb practices, how to practice them. So you can refer to that. Okay. Okay. So then after that, after entering through your then make offering and supplication to him. After entering through your crown aperture, he descend and arrive at the level of your heart. Okay. So after you make until that wisdom being is on your crown, is like a front generation, it's object where you, it's a merit field where you accumulate all the merit in relation to similar practice, as what I mentioned before. Then after that, after all those practices done, is very much like his job is done, as a merit field. Then enter into your heart through your crown. Is very much entering from the central channel. The opening of the central channel is right here, where there's a curly here there. So where the wisdom beings residing. So it's very much like the pipe, hollow. So from there, descend the wisdom being into your heart. Then think that he dissolved spontaneous into emptiness there. So when he descend into your heart, he dissolved into spontaneously dissolved into emptiness, meaning spontaneously dissolved into your dharmakaya, your Buddha nature. You see, your Buddha potential. That the ultimate Buddha potential that you have, which is the which is the emptiness being of the Buddha nature. That wisdom being become oneness. By entering it become oneness. So in another word, you and now the wisdom being become oneness. Now very important. Then after become oneness, then now you have to meditate like this. Place the mind in this state blissfully, freely, at ease, and lucidly. So this is the experience of when you realize emptiness. This is the experience of when you realize Dharmakaya. This is the experience of you fulfill the clear light practice. Okay, so this is also through this training, it will help yourself uh, to be able to practice the dream yoga. Eventually, in the future, when we pass away from this life, we are able to take the natural clear light onto the path. You see, or you're able to, when the natural clear light experience, which anyone who pass away, they experience natural clear light. So when you go through that, you're able, by training your mind now in this meditation, then you will able to remember that experience of great bliss, experience of free ease and lucidly, is in fact is the experience of the wisdom being, which is the Buddha Akshobya. So that way, when you're able to remember that during the, at the time of death, that becomes the greatest power. That is the most powerful, transferring your consciousness. If best, it will enlighten you there. If not, uh, transfer consciousness to Buddha's pure lands. You see, if not, you know, at least you realize emptiness there. If not, at least that you create a virtuous causes that which will have a virtuous intermediate state, then virtuous rebirth. You obtain the a rebirth that which you will continue your practices that you have not accomplished yet. Like that. Now, very important. If your mind abide in this state, let it do so. So during this process of meditation, when you go into this kind of state of very profound meditation, then let it be just like that. Let it be. Don't try to elaborate, exaggerate, or don't try to supplement other practices. Just be in that, because that's the best. That is the most profound. And that is the thing that we need to realize it. We need to experience it. We need to get trained into it now, and we need to actualize it during the clear light, and we need to really achieve the ultimate benefit, if possible, the enlightenment there through Dharmakaya. So that's why I say, let it do so. If your mind enter into sleep while in this state, this is the instructions of taking sleep into the ultimate expense. Okay, so now before falling into sleep, up to that is in the tantric term is very much like taking clear light onto the path, or taking clear light onto the path to Dharmakaya, or the taking death onto the path to taking death the path of clear light, chiwa chuku lamkir, taking death onto the path, or taking death onto the path of clear light, whatever term you use. So now, if your mind enter into sleep, so from here is taking intermediate state onto the path of Sambhogakaya, or taking intermediate state onto the path. So now, while training, now, if your mind enter into sleep while in this state, then this is the instruction of taking sleep onto the ultimate expense, taking sleep onto the ultimate expense, and taking sleep onto the sleeping yoga, or the dream yoga, whatever you want to say, or getting actualizing the voidness of activity, the negate of the activity when during the sleep, in the expense of the emptiness of sleep, or in the expense of the in the ultimate expense of the reality, which is the emptiness. Emptiness from all the day activities. When you experience that emptiness, you interpret that as a emptiness of ultimate reality, or emptiness of ultimate reality. You see, instead of just normal activity, not just like that. Rather, you interpret as a meditation, going into meditation into emptiness. But if the sleeping is channeled by the earlier meditation on emptiness, the this the clear light, the practice, then the sleeping journey naturally become the taking, as like a taking dream and the sleep as a, as a path, and that will influence in future taking intermediate as a on path to actualize enlightenment through Sambhogakaya state, like that. Mm. If you die while in this state, this is the instruction for application at the point of death. So here it's specifically saying, if we die, while in such practice, while in all this experience of practice, then that is the power, that is a practice of transparent consciousness. Mm. Yeah, so this is what you use is most beneficial practice at the time of dying. Mhm. Okay, then you will then actualize the supreme attainment of the great seal during the intermediate state. The master says, so the great seal, Chagya Chembo, uh, yes, you will achieve the actual resultant. The great seal is to actualize enlightenment. Then, if not, realize emptiness directly. If not, the great seal here is realizing emptiness, at least the conceptual realization of emptiness. If not, at least, you're able to go through the transition to the time of dying without any delusion, without any grasping. You can travel very freely, so that way that you have all the basis to continue the virtuous life, like that. So this is unbelievable, important, beneficial. Then after this, while in this state, if you engage in a mantra recitation, so while in while in the meditation, either meditation on emptiness, at the first part, in the state of blissfulness, freely, ease, and lucidly, in that manner, then you use one portion of your mind to recite the mantra, or when you from that lead to sleep, and in the sleeping time, in the state of dream, that you're able to remember the memory of the mantra that you have memorized in the past. You're able to remember in the dream state. Then this will be, if you engage in the mantra recitation, in any of this state, this will be the source of extremely great blessing. So that going to be the most effective practice of the mantra recitation. That influence that you receive, the blessing of the impact that you receive, the connection that you're able to establish with the deity, the purification that it takes place, the accumulation merit that it actually they stimulate your Buddha potential, become one of the greatest, the effective way. That's called the great blessing. Mm? Uh, mm, mm. This will also source of extremely great bliss. It also become, you can also understand like this. When you're able to practice like that, then that practice, the impact that you receive is so powerful that it become one of the most powerful source in order for you to become Buddha, or in order for you to actualize Dharmakaya, in order for you to, if not at least in order you to, realize emptiness directly, and etc., as I mentioned before, like that. For it will become a mantra repetitions of the enlightened body, speech, and mind. Or when you're able to recite the mantra in that meditative state, then it become the mantra recitations of the Buddha's body, speech, and mind, in the most effective way. Most effective way. So there are two. Uh, uh, if you haven't gone into fully in the sleeping state, you still, constructively in the meditative absorption, then uh, taking a portions of your mind, one portion of your mind to recite the mantra, or that can be done in three ways. One is verbally, one is the mental recitation, and the mental recitation, um, either making the mantra garland around your heart, at the center where there is the wisdom being, uh, either whatever image comes in your way, fine, either in the form of blue vajra, or either in the form of the blue, what do you call, the Akshobya or Mitrugpa, and usually it's the blue vajra. Or if you can't visualize even the vajra, then there's a blue kind of light energy. Then around there, then circle by the mantra Om Kam Gani Kam Gani, the Mitrugpa mantra or the Akshobya mantra, So then you are reading those mantra clockwise. That is the mental recitation, like that, Yeah. So either verbally or mental recitation. So you can do whatever. Uh, Most practitioner, they try to do a bit of verbal recitation. Then after that they take turn to do the mental recitation. So like that. Then if you already fall asleep, then very much like in the dream that you see, if you happen to see yourself moving around a similar way like this, um, the dream mind that you're able to spot yourself or either Mitrugpa or the Akshobhya uh, right in front of you, then around the heart, in the center of the heart, there's this, Vajra or blue Vajra or the syllable Hung, and then surrounded by the Om Kam Gani Kam Gani, and you are very much kind of like reading it like clockwise like that. Or again, you see yourself completely out of the activities, out of the tangible, because in the dream state, very much like illusional body. Then, but yet you can see your structure, like which is still recognized as you. Then around your heart, in the center, the syllable blue, blue hung or the vajra. Then again, you circle the mantra and you read it. So that is the that's you very much reading. That's the while you are in the dream state. You can do that. So if you're able to do either of these two ways of practice, then it become most concentrated practice of mantra of the Buddha's body, speech, and mind. This is because the visualizations of the meditation deity is the mantra repetitions of the body. The recitation of the essence mantra is the repetitions of the speech, while recitations on the emptiness is the mantra repetitions of the mind, the master says. You see? So how it become Buddha's body, speech, and mind is like this. The mantra repetition itself is Buddha's body. Then the essence mantra, the syllable Hung, you can regard that as essence. If you want to use the Akshobhya as the full Dharani, then the Mitrugpa's whole mantra become the essence mantra. So you can regard the syllable Hung, the last mantra, when you recite that, is a repetition of the speech. Then you meditate on the emptiness, because you recite that on the basis of emptiness. Then that is repetitions of the mind. So because of that, why this way of mantra recitation become so so profound, like that. Hmm. Okay, then it's when you wish to rise out of this state. So this is the nirmanakaya, taking rebirth or taking awake from the sleep into the path. So when you wish to rise out of this state, then like a rainbow appearing in the sky, you should instantaneously generate yourself as a blessed Akshobhya, and visualize that the thumb-sized wisdom being that is dissolved into you either appear at your crown. Was it earlier appear in the crown, so now which is in your heart. So mm, so okay, so now this one is like this. Okay, so um, the important part is the it was a yourself, like yourself, manifesting, out of the emptiness. So that's the matter. It's very much like the rainbow appearing in the sky, like that, in the empty sky, like that. So from the expanse of the Dharmakaya, uh, from there, which you arise. In fact, your continuum is the basis where make possible of your being, isn't it? So that's a reality, isn't it? So even this visualization, in fact, is emphasis of the reality. So you arise from the emptiness, and which you don't really, you have to go through the very complicated visualizations. Just instantaneously, uh, arise. Uh, mm, uh, instantaneously generate yourself as a blessed Akshobhya. Mm. So so you're not arising as ordinary. You have to recognize that you are Akshobhya, that which is inseparable from the wisdom being the Akshobhya, that which become oneness in your heart before from the crown, isn't it? So because of oneness being that, that's why you arise as Akshobhya. Mm. So now arise as Akshobhya here. Uh, the physical structure, the body structure, is like a human body. What you see in the mirror, your image. But your recognition is the Akshobhya, the oneness, one nature with the wisdom being, that you dissolve into your consciousness. Become oneness before, like that. So focus on this. Cultivate devotion and reverence with your mind, and with your speech recite the praises. So similar like the before, you generate devotion. Uh, mm, so now, mm, generate devotion here is very much talking about the devotion to the self-generated deity, self-generated Akshobhya, that which manifests into your ordinary look, but actually in essence is Akshobhya. Or then make offerings, similar way, like food offerings or whatever clothes and whatever ornaments, whatever you consume, whatever you adorn to you, everything become offering, that you understand that. And in particularly here, you can do the practice in relation to feminine practices. You see, you can do that. Then make offering and supplication to him. Or then you make the offering and supplication similar like the before. You can recite the supplication prayer, then feminine practice. Then after that, make dedication. You can do the similar way like that. Then if you have a, oh, so now there's another aspect. Then the wisdom being. Then if you have a drawing of Akshobhya, then dissolve into this. So now here, can be quite confusing. Uh, the the uh, the the Akshobhya, um, you know, um, uh, just now when you arise as a Nirmanakaya form, isn't it? As Akshobhya. So when you arise that, there's also arising of Akshobhya on your crown. You see, so everything arises in the expanse of emptiness, like the rainbow appear from the sky. So, you yourself arise in the nature of Akshobhya, and that crowned by Akshobhya on your crown. Okay. So now, because of you, you're going to get into the activities of your normality. Now the crown Akshobhya uh, need to place somewhere. So now, because your dharmakaya, manifests into your nirmanakaya form, to relate to ordinary activities or to the ordinary beings. And the sambhava, what you call the wisdom being, that which dissolve from into your heart. Now that also arise into the sambhava. Now sambhava aspect, very much like sambhava. Yeah, it's a sambhava aspect. That sambhava uh, uh, you know the visualize in the visualizing the images is like the thumbnail size, like how you visualized before. Now if there's any picture of Mitrugpa or Akshobhya that you have, or the statue, then you visualize, naturally, instantaneously it dissolve into those picture. It dissolve into those picture. Mm? Because the Sambhava and both the Dharmakaya have no, um, uh, you know, um, we ordinary sentient being cannot directly communicate with them. The only way to communicate is through the Nirmanakaya form. That's why you have a reason to arise into the ordinary look. And the Sambhava aspect of the Akshobhya uh, also has to do other activities, which is different than what you are doing, which is the activities, turning wheel of Dharma to the Arya Bodhisattvas, etc. Then for that reason, then they dissolve into the picture. For ordinary being, only able to see directly the picture and the statues, not the actual Sambhava, isn't it? Because of that. Mm. So you visualize it dissolve into that. Then if you don't have a picture or statue, then dissolve him into sculpture or relinquish stupa. Then in around your place or in your town, there's a stupas, or there's a holy place, or there are, monuments, whatever. Then you understand that it dissolve into those holy objects. You see. Like that. Mm. If none of this is present, then request the Akshobhya on your crown to depart to his natural abode. So go back to the wisdom state, where first he emanated. Go back. This manifested, dissolved into the his natural abode. So it's very much like make one big round and now go back to the same route. Then on the basis of this stanza, uh, on the basis of the standard, to the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, you should make dedication 3 times by means of taking refuge and generating the awakening mind. You should meditate on this world of appearances as illusion, the master says. Then after that, the meditation session, to be concluded with the dedication, taking refuge in Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and also in generation of bodhicitta. So in the monasteries like in the Himalayas, in the cities, I don't know, maybe some individual do that, but in the Himalayan monastery, like such as Mu monastery, the Rajanandari, whenever they do dedication, even when they do dedications of food offering, they recite the sutra remembering the 3 jewels. Sutra remembering the 3 jewels. So they elaborately acknowledge the qualities of the 3 jewels, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, then take refuge, or then dedicate all the merits, dedicate all the merits on the base of that refuge and altruism. So basically they use the sutra remembering the three jewels. So it is now in English translation. It is also very short sutra. So if you people individual wish to practice, then you can just do dedication according with that. Then also, since this teaching also related to the food offering practice, also the food offering, and also after, especially after making the food offering in general offering practice, then at the end of completing the food, the dedication again, they do dedication using the sutra remembering the three jewels. So that's how they do. So we can also adopt this practice if you like to. You see. So otherwise you can dedicate in bodhicitta, dedicate in you can remember Buddha Dhamma Sangha, then in the presence of your refuge in them, then you dedicate in bodhicitta, dedicate in emptiness, dedicate in two stages of tantric path. So that way, that include dedication of bodhicitta, dedication to emptiness, and dedication on tantric two stages of part two. So these dedication prayers, you can just recite this common dedication prayer which everybody know. Then for the emptiness, then you can just first line you change, Tongni Tawa Rinpoche, Majepanam Ji. Then the third one, Rimni Naljur, Rimni Naljur Rinpoche, Majepanam Ji, so you can recite like that, and you can dedicate like that. So this is what the teaching says. Okay, so this is the first chapter, the chapter pertaining to the food. Thank you very much. So we stop here. Thank you so much. Okay, so I have an announcement. So I think, I have an announcement that it was quite a sudden decision that I needed to return back to Kopan. So there's in Nepal, so there's rare oral transmission teachings going on. So it's so beneficial to receive that. So so since it's very rare, so I'll be going for that, and that will cause interruption to the continuations of the Lojong teaching for some time. I don't know exactly how long this oral transmission will go on in Nepal. So therefore, play safe, and also the internet connection. Don't know how good where I'm staying. So I will postpone. I will take a break for the Lojong teaching until the end of May. So we resume the Lojong teaching in the first week of June. So the June, all the 4 weeks, we will do the Lojong teaching. Okay. So June first week start. So June 5. Okay. So June 5, we will resume the teaching. So until then will be break. I think the Easter holiday also coming, so I think it's also right time for the break for everyone. And those of you who are free, who are able to, then you can refresh those teachings that we have done for the past almost 2 years, isn't it? So and especially there are some very, very beneficial meditation practices like such as this. It's good to kind of familiarize, and next time without looking at the text that you can able to do the meditation accordingly would be so beneficial, as whatever we have said here. it is beneficial now, beneficial in future. So basically, any kind of meditation, we have to train until that so habitual that even at the dream time that we are able to remember the meditation. Then that way we will gain some confidence that at the time of dying that we will be able to remember that, like that. Okay. Mm. Oh yeah. So I would like to take opportunity to express my immense of appreciation and thanks to Stephanie, national coordinator, APMD Australian national coordinator, who organized this Lojong series of teaching. Uh, it's part of the my touring, commitment, my touring teaching commitment. Because of the pandemic, we are, physically unable to tour around the center. So part of that teaching, because Stephanie organized all my touring teachings, so part of that. So it is, as I mentioned also in the past, that it is not supplementing any of the individual centers program, uh, the usual centers program. So therefore, whatever teaching in relation to Lojong, also cannot interrupt any of your other, centers program. Mm, uh, so usually the physical tourings are short period, but then due to the pandemic, everyone has more time, and also for me, easy, no need to travel to place. So that's how I think we are able to conduct quite consistent, weekly, throughout this pandemic. And also now the pandemic is very much, uh, you know we are coming out of this pandemic. So more, I think, physical activities, it seems like resuming. And I think everyone, naturally going to be more busy traveling. So that way, I think, also for you people also may not have a consistent kind of attending the teachings online. But then if we do once a while kind of, dedicated time, like as I mentioned before, this coming June, I will come back to Australia and fully dedicate to, I have so many other teaching commitments. I will also, do all those teachings. There are teaching requested from US centers, from European centers, etc. Then there are also some other individual center request teachings. So I will try to do everything in the June month. And of course, our Lojong teaching also as a part of the, since I still not going for physical tour yet, then we can stick on to continuing the Lojong teaching on the June month. Then again in July month, I need to travel. I have an important commitment to travel. So July and August month will be again affected. Then I will come back in September, and full September again we dedicate on all the teachings programs. Um, uh, yeah. Then after that, I think I have, yeah, after that I have to travel again in October. So then October, November, December, then there may be, maybe even his honest teachings are happening. Then after that, maybe physically we may also need to do some physical teachings to the centers. I don't know yet. Otherwise, uh, whenever there's opportunity, then we will do, this Lojong teaching part of the touring teaching kind. So like that. So we, of course, my commitment is just matter of time. I try to finish the entire volume, this full volume, the complete volume. So whenever we have opportunity, we will do that. Okay. uh, yeah, so thank you very, very much. So I thank Stephanie and, the full support for this organizing this teaching, the APMB national um, uh, um, officer, Peter, making all this possible. Mm. Then also all Stephanie's families, who support her to have time to organize all this. Mm. Then also other the translators, like especially in Russia, um, um, Diana, and been doing, so generously, kindly, solely for the benefit of, so many people in Russia, you know, even how busy she is, she offered to do translation for throughout this so many, now almost 2 years, isn't it? Then, Anastia, who've been, helping to coordinate and making sure that all the Russians are, up to date, for the teaching, etc. Is, very much like here the stepping and doing over there. I think Anastia and her team, putting up the updates, etc. Changes, etc. Like that. Then there are other people from other part of the world, like even in America. Um, um, Karsa, sorry. Suddenly, the name flip off from my mind. So you have a, the group of people who is interested, then, sharing and doing, how to say, very much, after the teaching, then they talk together, they put the group together like that. Then there are also some other centers. I heard that individual centers, uh, that they if they cannot listen, live on the YouTube on the day, and they replay the teaching, then in the part of the center's program, the student come together, and some student they lead, the teaching, to do discussion, question answer, like that. There are amazing lot of good things, done, throughout, this Lojong series of teaching. And also each and individual of you, who really show so much interest, and really, even though we, unable to do the teaching face to face, but at least very much like my motivation, even though not physically in front of you, but I motivate like as equal as being right in front of you. And some of you also take very serious, to be very consistent, receiving the teaching up to today. And 2 years is a long year, many months, quite an effort, isn't it? So therefore, um, so each and every one of you, I want to say thank you so much, and keep it up, and we will see, you all soon. I will see you all. We will see, in June. Okay. So thank you very much to everyone. Okay, so now we do the short dedication. So whatever merit that we accumulate in, in particularly from all this Lojong series of teaching, and the practice and prayers, and all the merit that we accumulate, from this session, all the merit that accumulate in the past, present, future, all the merits and the virtues accumulated by past, present, future Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Gurus, and sentient beings, be the complete cause for numberless sentient beings to be free from oceans of samsaric suffering. It is causes karma and delusion, and actualize from temporary happiness after the ultimate happiness and enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be a complete cause, this pandemic, the war, and the famine, and natural disaster, and the diseases, in the world. And also, if in case, any of the individual participants here, if any of yourself, your family members, who may, in case going through any of the health issues, relationship issues, business issues, whatever obstacle they may be, may our collective merit be complete cause to overcome right away without delay even a moment. May this collective merit be complete cause, be complete cause for world peace and happiness, in the family, peace and happiness in the individual. May this collective merit be complete cause, all the world leaders, organizations, who lead family, and yourself who lead your life, free from negative emotions, such as depression, such as, being negative about yourself, negative about everything, anger, attachment, grasping, jealousy, ego, pride, etc., grudge, all be free. Then, our heart be filled with full of love, compassion, kindness, understanding, forgiveness, positive, optimistic, pure view, Then wisdom of selfless, wisdom of emptiness, and then attitude of altruism, so that anyone under their leadership can able to enjoy only peace, happiness, virtue, and enlightenment accordingly. Or may this collective merit be complete cause, all the virtuous institutions like monasteries and nunneries and dharma centers, and in particularly FPMD Australian centers, FPMD national office, and all the works in the national office be free from the secret obstacle, actualize all the conducive conditions to serve perfectly, all our gurus, like such as His Honour the Lama, Tetra Lama Suluche, Lama Yeshe, and um, mm, preserve the Dharma by taking care of rest of the centers in most extensive learning of the entire path and actualizing, realization on the stages of the path accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause. May each and every may all the good people in this world, like His Honour the Lama, all your spiritual gurus, all yourself and your family members, always enjoy good health, a long life, and fulfill all your aspirations accordingly. Oh yeah. Then may this collective merit be complete cause. May we able to practice just like all the past Kadamba masters and the great Nalanda Pandits, like such as Nagarjuna, Shandideva, Lama Atisha, Lama Silingba, Dharmakirti, Chandrakirti, etc. like that. Then Kadamba Geshes, like such as Lama Atisha, Selingba, Geshe Dromtonpa, Jengawa, Chekawa, Sharawa, and then all our lineage gurus, may we able to practice just like that and able to fulfill our spiritual goal of enlightenment for the benefit of numberless sentient beings within this very short lifetime. Then ourselves, the merits, and whatever we do, whatever we did, including of the teaching and the purpose we dedicate, all understand in the nature of emptiness, in the nature of dependent arising. Okay, so I will recite some prayers, and that time, if you have any individual dedications to be done, please do so. Jawa de nyudo da lama sanje dubyo ne do wa ji jama le ba de za la go bara jo chanjo sem jo rimbo je ma je panam je ju je jawa ne ba me ba yong ko ne ko do pe wa jo to ni da wa rimbo je ma je panam je ju je jawa ne ba me ba yong ko ne ko do pe wa jo ni na jo rimbo je ma je panam je ju je jawa ne ba me ba yong ko ne ko do pe wa ra e sho ka re ra be ko be sing ngam de pen dan de wa ma le jo ne che re sing wa ten ten ja zo Shabesi de bado denguro ji tumso janje jango jabe de zenjo bebe kozo dobo ji chozo kobe leme tudo dazo de je gondo shabden jo phama samje damje denda de jo ngero damje tado to wa da chanjo semba kana sujo ba da konje monam dubjuro ji samje ne ba chinje ba nyudo nele taji to wene ne male ba da do jungwa me bara sho beda zo wa mi ke bi je no ba samje samje ra wa kunzo be samba chuje de be ta che sho chuzo na me kuze ra de namga tile chujo jamba rosa de be de me sa zo ji de we mo se da do je jo je jawa kondo yang da lama da thame che je pala lonjo je sada namje yonde rabzon doje chanje gomba nyodo sho chamde de jabada jomaya da bazo beza namana je boji jabala cha zo jo se ba sama je bokundo sambola cha daya da on beza de ob de ne zom dur dur jam ji so daya da on beza de ob de ne zom dur dur jam ji so daya da on beza de ob de ne zom dur dur jam ji so daya da on beza de ob de ne zom dur dur jam ji so daya da on beza de ob de ne zom dur dur jam ji so daya da on beza de ob de ne zom dur dur jam ji so daya da on beza de ob de ne zom dur dur jam ji so daya da on beza de ob de ne Omduru Zai Majes of Juven Deja Badajaman, the Bazobesan, or the Mola Tajara to be Jabola Chad, Juven Deja Badajaman, the Bazobesan, Mengela Bedo, Jabola Chaze, Lo, Menjo Seja Javajana, the Tende Loa, Dajal Hassan, and the Mebe Nego Dujish, Tambaji, Dekam to Joma, Tambani, to some Apology of them. Tamba Urene, Bertaja Junimon, the Let's and the Nimegoya, in the Tato Telepe, Conjo, some Jeta, she show. Okay, thank you very much. So during my time in Nepal, while receiving the teachings, while meeting gurus, while meeting Sangha brothers sisters, and especially going to holy places and meeting gurus and receiving teaching, I will keep each and every one of you in my prayers. whatever merit that I engage, whatever prayers that I engage, whatever holy places that where I make prayers, whenever I meet Guru, I mentioned, even though I may not know, each of your name, I haven't seen your face, but I say whoever come to Lojong teachings, request dedication prayers from our gurus. So that is my promise. I will do that. Okay. So now I want you to promise uh, to take good care of yourself and take good care of each other in the family, among the families. Then, yeah, always, be happy in the meaning of precious human rebirth and the Dharma. Always be optimistic, hopeful. Always practice pure view, virtue, and Dharma in your very best, and try to live as harmonious as possible among family members. Live in the service of each other. Okay, so thank you very, 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 very much. Take care. Bye bye. See you in June 5th.